Okay, so we're having our rig almost done. The next thing what we're going to add is a space switching. So the space switch allows us to choose the parent for particular controls. For example, currently the Hill IK controls, they always stays in the world. Let me show you. We'll move our, you can see it here, we're moving our main control, and the Hill IK control stays always in the world, so you always need to move them. Sometimes that could be what you're looking for, but sometimes we would like it to follow the main route, the main control, or the root, or the hip. So you could specify which parent you want to use at one particular moment. The same thing is for the knee control, for the twist knee control. That control would like to sometimes specify a parent. Currently it's parented under the hip, and sometimes we would like to specify that we want to be in a word space or want it to be following a hip. To do the space switching, you can create some network of parent constraints with some offsets and etc. Or you can look at the one node which is created by me for KineFX tools. It's called switch space, and that node is actually pretty useful. Let me just show it to you. So what we do as a first input, we're connecting the joint which we want to switch the spaces. In this case it's going to be our Hill control, so we connect it as the first input, and let's choose that joint. It's going to be a Hill. You can just select there and hit the enter. That's it. As a second input, we're having a parents. By a parents we mean sometimes main, sometimes root. So it cannot be this one, it cannot be the output from a blast, because that's just the leg joints. We just need to grab one above. Cool. And we just click the visibility here, and we're gonna plug it here. So that's our space switch, and we're gonna call it properly L Hill SWC for space switch. Okay, cool. And if you're interested, you can look at this particular YouTube video where I'm explaining space switch node, how to use it, how it's created, etc. And you can take a look at it. That's a newest version of it. It was written in the VEX code. It's nice and fast, so yes, please take a look if you're interested. Let's set up more information here. So the first thing first, we need to add some targets, the parents who we're gonna do a space switching for. So the space name is the name of a space which will be visible here in the menu, so we can choose it, which space we want to have in one particular moment. So the first space, it's just a descriptive name. So the first space will be mine, and the joint will be name equal main GNT. The next space name will be root, for example. It's a descriptive name, so you can write down whatever you want. And the joint name is name equals root GNT. So these ones are like a real joint names. And the last one will be, let's say, do hip at name equals hip GNT. Cool. If you hit enter and you don't do any misspellings, if you hit enter, you can see you have a space switches here. That's pretty cool. And the last thing to do is just stash your inputs. That's an important step because previously, one of the previous version of a space switch was working with the time shift, which was really inefficient. And now, then pressing the button, it just stores the information like you remember we did it with some other nodes. Fantastic. So how does it work? So currently, our space switch is main. So that's cool. And if you remember, now if we're gonna go and move it, that actually should move here. And when we're gonna go back to our node, you can see here our main control, our Hill control is following the main. And you're gonna see it more in action when we're gonna set up the object level controls. We can do now, you can change it to root, so it's following the root. Hip was like rotated a little bit more up there, so you can switch whatever spaces you want it to follow. And you can decide which parameters you want. If you want to just drive rotation or scale, it's up to you. You can have different space switches. One can be for translation, one can be for rotation. You just chain them one after another. Cool. So the next one which we will set it up, it's gonna be for that knee control. So you're gonna Control C, Control V, and we're gonna call it knee or twist. More better name. That's basically almost it. We just go here and we just type here L low leg IK, and that's it. And you can just change the space of it, and that's fantastic. We're gonna leave it with main for now, and we just switch the visibility here. That's fantastic. And is there anything else from the space switches? Actually no, that's actually it for this leg. And let's just grab that, guys, and just give them a nice pink color for space switching, like very washed. So we can just now grab them, Control C, and we will go up and we just put them in the right leg setup, which is gonna be analogical, and it's super easy to set it up. Look how easy it is. We're just gonna disable the test pose. Here you go. Just checking if it's connecting to the first input. It is. Let's change the names here. So right, that's right. We select this node. We just type the name here, R. Fantastic. We go this one. We type R. Fantastic and cool. And the last thing, of course, you're right. We need to go and stash the inputs and stash the inputs. And yeah, that's it basically. That's fantastic. We go up and we can just disable this rig pose. And if we hit the blend legs, oh, this leg is actually wrong. The reason why it's wrong, because when we stash the inputs, we already had a skeleton in the pose, so it stashed that pose as a default pose. So it's important when you're stashing your inputs to be sure that they're basically in a pose which they should be. In our case, that was actually default. So we need to go back there, select these guys, and just do stash input, select this one, stash input, and that's it. So that's our space switching setup. In the next videos, we'll be creating object level controls, and we will start promoting some stuff to our HDA. Thank you so much, and see you in a minute.